Welcome to another episode of the Mind's Eye with Mike Lowry. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in and being a part of this journey. I got another good one for you today. Today I want to talk to you guys about depression. Just some, tips and some ideas, some things that can help you along the way. Stay tuned. So, as I've stated before, I wanted to talk to you guys about depression. So let's start with the meaning. So depression is a mental health disorder characterized by present depressed mood or loss of interest in activities causing significant impairment in daily life. So as we know, there are different, types of depression, which would be clinical depression, depression from like a loss, so like, you're grieving from a loved one. And then also there's a depression from worrying about something that could potentially happen or worrying that it may not happen. So with there being multiple states of depression, I really wanted to focus more on like the idea of worrying that, you didn't pass the test, or worrying that, you didn't get the job or what have you. That's where I want to focus on when it comes to depression, because I feel like in that space, those things spiral and they turn into something else. So let's identify like the idea of depression. So in most cases, it's a change of mood. Like, we're kind of down all the time, or we don't have much to say. We're kind of like to ourselves. We're kind of like just in a rut, and like people can see it. But what I've also realized is that there's another form of depression that I don't think people speak about enough. Like when, you have a friend or a relative or a situation where someone is going through something and they have a personality about themselves that appears to be who you thought you knew. You know what I mean? And then all of a sudden, they're acting out, or it seems. They're wanting to party all the time. They wanted to do certain things that would appear to be out of their character. To me, that's another form of depression. People are just going about it differently. A lot of people will kind of like lay down, maybe, sleep more than they normally would, or, beat to themselves more than they normally would. Some people do the complete opposite. Some people act out more. Some people, are more active in may not be necessarily a positive way. Okay, so let's focus on the idea. Like, let's say that job didn't work out, that you apply for, that you really wanted, and you find yourself being depressed about it. And a lot of times that depression starts before the outcome or the situation even occurs, where we applied, we did the interview, and now we're waiting. And we're sitting there like, man, I hope I get it. I hope I get it, X, Y, and Z. And then we're kind of, it's taking too long. Why haven't they said anything yet? What's going on? I don't know what's going on. And then until we get the results, and it's like, dang. So even if the positivity comes and you get the job, you still were putting yourself in a situation to be depressed about something that you were unsure about. So why not, find the opportunity to expect good and be good. And even if good doesn't happen, then we can move on from that. And with that being said, I think like if we create more options for ourselves, then we'll be less depressed about always anticipating everything to be for one thing. We are multi-talented in so many different ways. So let's create options for ourselves. So when that one thing don't work out, we're okay. And because we have options in terms of, I put 10 applications out. I got 10 interviews. I've done the work. I've done the due diligence. And now I can sit back and wait and be positive about the outcome. Maybe it's not the job that I thought I was going to get right now, but it's the job I need right now. So if I'm already worried about the fact that I may not get it, I'm not going to get it. And then when I don't, that can then continue a spiral. So what I'm asking you not to do is don't spiral. Just because you didn't get it, that's not the end. Don't find yourself into a depression because something didn't work out the way you thought it should. Have the mindset of thinking that something better is coming. Allowing things to spiral can put you in a situation to be stagnant. And that's the last place you want to be. Like it's stagnant because of a situation that probably was never meant for you. But if you stay focused and stay strong and understanding that you have to move on, then you have the opportunity or the chance not to spiral, not to fall into a depression, because like I've stated before, you've created options for yourself. Like I've said it before, even when bad things good, you expect positivity in other areas, which allows you to continue to move forward. Like, to be honest, depression is a real thing. But I think most of depression isn't really stemming from mental health. Um, I think that's a cause that can happen eventually, but I think that if we take control of it now, then we won't find ourselves in that space. And understanding that, this is what it is, and I can move through it, around it, and, and have a better outcome, even though it's not what I want right now. The other point I want to make about depression is accountability. I think that it's so important to have like people in your life that you can trust to talk to about certain things that you're dealing with emotionally, mentally, physically, relationally, whatever it is that you may be going through. But I think it's so important to build that particular relationship when you're not necessarily in need for it. So therefore, when you are in need, you will have the right people to talk to. Like, in terms of like, I know I have friends that if I'm in a financial need, I know who I can and cannot talk to. If I'm in a relationship situation, I know who it is I can and cannot talk to. If I'm in a career situation, I know who it is I can and cannot talk to. I think those things are so important with understanding and knowing who it is that you can talk to based on what phase of life that you're dealing with. Because having those type of people will keep you from spiraling and going into a depression. Because we're not made to deal with all this stuff on our own. So why? Why try to deal with it all on your own? Find people that you can connect with or that you can link with that can fulfill that need. But also, you also have to be that person to help fulfill other people's needs as well. You can't always be the person that needs a pillow. You also have to be the pillow. You know what I mean? You got to be the person that's needed, and also not look at your situation like I'm too tough to reach out to somebody for a little assistance or a little guidance, a little help. I'm telling you, conversation will go a long ways versus just holding that stuff inside. I'm telling you, that's not the way to do it. Holding it inside is not an idea of strength. All it does is just leads to a depression that will find you in a position to blow up later in life. That's not something that you want to do. So let's do the work now. It starts now. So I want to leave you guys with 3 things. So one, as I stated before, create options. And again, creating options will lead you to a space and a place where if one thing doesn't work out, it's okay because I have 2, 3, 4, 5 other things that I could potentially find myself doing just as well as the number one thing that I thought I'd want or appreciate. Create options. Because if that one thing don't work out, I got so many other options that's okay, and I can fall back on one of these that could turn out being just as good, if not better, than what I thought was great. Do the work now. Do the work now with the people that are around you. Find who you can talk to about what. Find the people that you could talk to about, relationships, money, growth, career, or what have you. So that when those things are suffering, or you don't know what to do, or you're dealing with something, not everybody has access to a therapist. And even the people that do have access to a therapist, you might be dealing with something on Monday and you don't see a therapist till Thursday. So what are you going to do between Monday and Thursday? Who can you call? And I challenge the people that are receiving the calls to either answer the phone, and if they can't answer the phone, send a text and be like, I'm busy right now, I'll call you tomorrow or later when you can, and then follow up. It's so important because you never know what your friends and your people and your family might be going through, and all they need is a phone call. But because you didn't answer, they spiral. Think about it. Last thing, breathe. It's okay. If it don't work out, it's okay. You're still breathing. You're still living. That means you still have opportunity. And so for me, for an example, there's an opportunity that I was trying to get 3 years ago. And the timing, the opportunity didn't work out. And I can honestly say it bothered me at the time. But then now looking back, I was able to get with the same company at a much higher position. And it's like, dang, I found myself depressed to a certain extent at that time because it wasn't what I wanted or when I wanted it or how I wanted it. But I realized there were things for me to learn along the way. There's some maturity that I needed to, I guess, grasp or understand along the way. And I realized sometimes, we're depressed about things that we want, we're not even ready for. You know what I mean? So it's all about doing the work. When you do the work first, then you can eliminate a lot of depression. So just do the work. If I didn't leave you with nothing else today, I want you to do the work. Find who you can talk to. Understand that this may not be for you, that something else can be, and that life is what it is. Make the best of it. Do you. Well, that concludes another episode of The Mind's Eye with Mike Lowry. If you guys have any questions, concerns, or anything you guys want to talk about, please don't be afraid to leave a comment. And if you want me to expound more on or about depression from what I learned from it, please ask. And don't forget to like, share, and comment. Thank you so much.